Good morning. So, as you can see, we are not sitting down inside today. I'm going for a walk to the ocean, which is like maybe a 5, maybe a 10-minute walk if I'm strolling from my parents' house, which is where I'm living right now. And I just thought I would do kind of like a really casual walk and talk and sit by the ocean and discuss some of the reasons why I love Noona romances. I've had this idea in my head for like such a long time, like so long. Oh man, the sun's really bright. We'll reconvene in a minute. That was so cute. I just did like a little dance around this old man because, like, you know, you're supposed to keep like 2 meters distance between each other, and there's not that much room on the sidewalk, so I went to go on the road and he went to go on the road, and then we just kind of like bounced back and forth between each other. Oh, that was cute. Okay, so we're on the lookout for kind of a shady-ish more spot because I didn't really think this through when I left the house today, that the sun is like bright and it might be hard to film. I just thought, oh, let's go for a little walk down to the ocean and then like talk about Kdramas. But it's bright and it's warm. I definitely did not need this sweater. I think I'm going to actually put my towel down behind this big rock here and see if that gives me enough shade. That one right there. But I wasn't watching where I was going, and all this stuff looks really wet, so we're gonna backtrack. We're gonna go this way. It's shady, but like there's lots of little bugs flying around. I'm not sure if I like that. Well, this has been a little bit of a fail. It's just filming outside is this whole new can of worms that I wasn't prepared for. So maybe we'll just do like 1 or 2 of my points and then head back to my room. But as I was trying to say like a while ago, oh, is this just too dark? I just don't know. What about... There, I think that's okay. So as I was trying to say at the very beginning of the walk, this is an idea that I've had for a really long time, to do some sort of list video for the reasons why I love Noona romances, and I've been putting it off because I wanted to do something really well researched almost. Like I wanted to have like specific examples of my reasons from specific K-dramas. There's a person. Okay, so I moved again. And this will be my last try. If people find me here behind this big log, then we're just gonna go home and do this video at home. But yeah, so instead of doing like a really in-depth video for why I love Noona romances with specific examples from all these different shows, oh, puppy! Hello! Where are you from? Where's your owner? Where's your person? Where's... Okay. That was a bit of a fail. I have a lot more respect for any YouTuber who can have a sit-down chat video outside, because there's too many variables. The lighting, the people, the dogs, as you saw. I'm gonna repeat myself again. This is going to be a discussionary video about why I love Noona romances. I won't have like specific points, I think, because all of my points are kind of like bleeding together and like one leads to the next one, and that's why I'm doing kind of more of a discussionary video. So let's just get into it already. Kind of the first point, or the one that I'm going to start off with, is because Noona romances are not the norm within K-dramas. And if you don't know what the term Noona is a term of familiarity that a male will call an older female. Similar how to women who are younger calling an older woman 언니, or men calling an older man 형, and the one we all know when a woman calls an older man oppa. There's a reason why all these Koreaboos scream for their oppas, because that is the relationship dynamic that we get most in the K-drama landscape. So when there's a Noona romance, I'm already more intrigued because it's different. It's just, there's kind of like the novelty aspect of it, because again, it's just not the norm. And so kind of like my next point that ties kind of directly to the fact that Noona romances aren't the norm is because of the cultural and society implications of a Noona relationship. I believe in Korean society, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't live in Korea, I've been there once, but you know, as a foreigner, so my experience of Korean culture is filtered through the lens of a foreigner. So basically all I say is what I picked up from watching TV, and then also what people have said who live there. So if I'm wrong, do correct me. But from what I can tell, the preferred relationship dynamic is that of a younger woman, like around 2 to 4 years younger than the man. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that men have to do like mandatory military. A lot of times women and the men that are in their same age group, like say you're a 25-year-old woman, there's not a lot of 25-year-old men around, because that age group is probably the age group that's most likely enlisted in the military, so it's just more natural to date older. That's just my own little theory on that. But anyways, because that is the preferred relationship dynamic, there are some cultural implications to breaking that norm. So if it's preferred and society kind of pushes that relationship dynamic, and then you do the complete opposite, you date a man who's younger than you are gonna get criticisms from like your family, your friends, society at large, and lots of times shows that are about these Noona relationships explore those criticisms. And moving on from that point, in general, I feel like if I'm watching a Noona romance, everybody, the entire cast, is a bit older, which I really appreciate. Romance is a Bonus Book is an example of that. Encounter is an example of that, where the woman and also like her male love interest, they're not like young, they're not like in their early 20s, they're more established. And to me, it's so wonderful to have an older woman protagonist. And when I say old, I don't even mean a senior woman, I just mean a middle-aged woman past 30. Like, that's just so important for me as a young woman to see older woman representation, because lots of times I kind of fall into this trap where when I envision myself older, like 30 and above, I envision myself without personality. And I'm like, why? Why am I doing that? And it's because we don't get a lot of mature women's stories. They're kind of like an invisible age group. So when you get a Noona romance, the woman is usually older. Another great one would be search www. Because these women tend to be older, they have more agency. I am so tired of watching a female protagonist who is constantly asking everybody else what to do, has no go-getter attitude. Like, I love a woman with agency. Not only does she usually have a established career and can be self-reliant, I love me a self-reliant woman, but it also translates into her romantic relationship. A lot of the times in Noona romances, the women are the ones to make the first move, and it's so satisfying. I remember that moment in Something in the Rain or Pretty Noona Who Buys Me Food, when she puts her hand on the guy's knee, I think it's his knee, or she grabs his hand underneath the table. But I just like my heart fluttered. It was just so satisfying and so powerful. Just like that little action, and then his response to it was just, it was so good. So tired of innocence be putting on a pedestal when they portray innocence as this really sexy thing. Like, you should not have a high schooler dating a grown-ass man. That's gross. So again, when you have a Noona romance, it's usually the woman is older, the woman is more experienced, and like the playing field, like there's not so much of a power imbalance. That's what it is. There's no weird power imbalances in a Noona romance. The only one that's a little bit iffy could be I Can Hear Your Voice. I think Lee Jun-suk's character in that drama is quite young. I think he's still in high school and she is like a prosecutor, so the age gap between them is getting a little bit too much, even for a Noona romance. It's like, oh, you're dipping your toe into creepy territory. But for the most part, I think Noona romances show a very adult, very successful and stable woman who just knows what she wants and just is like very confident in herself and has agency, and I just love that. I thrive on that. So let me know down below if you love Noona romances as much as I do, because if a show is categorized as a Noona romance, it doesn't matter the other kind of genres that it falls into, I'm instantly more curious in watching it, simply because it's got the Noona dynamic going on. And that's not just because I'm a Noona in a Noona romance myself. My fiance is a year younger than me, but that has nothing to do with anything. Okay, you guys have a good night and a good day. Bye.